And we are live.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel. Today we have Nikkolas Morales from EHG Community. Thank you so much, Nikkolas, for joining. Really appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate you for actually wanting to do this interview. I like this is like my first interview with like on YouTube on
Really?
or yeah, exactly. It's like a first interview besides a job that I ever had. So
No kidding. Well, I am honored to be your first. I am so honored for that. So I appreciate you coming on the show. I've known Nikkolas probably at least a year now, right?
I think probably like a year and a half, probably close to two.
That's sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Um, so I found your community when I was just trying to kind of branch out and you know grow mine,
Mhm.
and I've absolutely loved everything that I've seen from it. So let's just start there. So why don't you tell us about the HG community? Where did the idea come from, and just give us all the good details.
Well, it was a couple of years ago when I was actually in the kitchen area when in my old apartment with a friend of mine. I told him I wanted to come up with a community, of non-toxic gamers and a positive community in general.
Right.
So before EHG, we were Brothers of Oblivion,
Yes, I
and
remember that.
yeah, and we were doing things like we were trying to get like people to join in guilds. We were trying to get all types of gamers to join in. We had people who were supporting us like left and right, from like people that we know out here, people that were our friends, people that we met like even in other groups, and even people who subscribe to our YouTube channel. Um I know I've had a couple of people, working with me, like, people that I've used to like work like a regular, like, 9 to 5 job with,
Hmm.
and some people that I used to go to school with, even a friend of mine who I used to know since I was like 14, 13, or 13 years old. And I was thinking, like, let's go ahead and make a community of gamers where every type of gamer is accepted. Either
Right.
you are a gamer of RPG games, first person shooters, if you are a gamer who is male, female, non-binary, etc., or
Hmm.
like if you are like any gender. We just wanted a community of equality, so
Right.
that's what we brought up. And I thought that the name Brothers of Oblivion wasn't really a like a professional area, so I thought of something what of the name, and I was thinking about what about Event Horizon. So what is an Event Horizon? And it was nearly like I would say like a black hole, and it was like the dark parts of the black hole. But then outside of it would be some type of like lights, or like some type of special color of lighting coming out of it. And
Hmm.
that was the expression that I have about like the gaming communities, and like especially gaming industry itself, that there's a big like dark area of things that we don't know, and then branching out, and that whole entire light branching out are like the great people that of the community to go ahead and bring positivity and like try to make the gaming community good. So
Right.
that's where EHG became a thing, and with that we started doing Twitch, and we went from our Brothers World Oblivion YouTube to EHG, and that's how we ended up starting off doing what we were doing today.
Well, that's awesome. I love the idea behind that. And I was looking over the channel, and you have 125 likes, so that's a pretty good amount of people there. So you're definitely growing it the right way. But I I could not agree with you more. I think the whole premise of that sounds great. I think there's a lot of communities out there that are a dark hole in themselves.
Mhm.
A lot of toxic communities in video games, which leads me to my next question. What do you think is the most toxic community in video games?
Well, I've been in a lot of them.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to like rank them up there, but
right.
I could say I could give you a major large amount, margin. I would say a large amount of them. I would say like right now, in my opinion, a pretty toxic community is the Overwatch community,
Yeah.
to League of Legends, uh, to things like Dead by Daylight, even like even major areas like CS:GO or Valorant are majorly toxic. Even Fortnite.
Right.
Um, yeah, I think those are the major areas that have the most toxic players, because you can see, like, especially on different YouTubers, that a lot of toxic gaming comes from either playing those games or either, like, playing with people in those communities.
Right.
So like, if you see like a whole bunch of like toxic things like from Overwatch, there's like a whole bunch of things, especially from my channel. Like, I have almost 31 videos of Overwatch toxic events, and those events like includes, like, either someone just intentionally throwing a game. I would say people like being massively toxic and being, like, a-hole-ish, excuse me.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And then it's like it's just major things where I put them all together in massive one massive thing, like a compilation, or sometimes I even put them in one whole video.
Right.
So, but the one that I'm mostly, like, connected with a lot, that is extremely toxic, is the Overwatch community, which I think takes,
Overwatch.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like I think the further that you dig into a community, the more toxic you're gonna find. But even like for me, jumping into a game right now. So if I got on my Xbox right now and I had to pick one game that if I go into this game, I'm going to run into toxic people within 5 minutes. Rocket League is the most toxic game I have ever played in my life. It's not even close, and I
Yeah.
played a pretty good amount of it, and it's so sad. Like, but and they're so limited in what you can do with Rocket League because there's a lot of quick chats and all that. But people find a way, man, to be toxic, and it is sad. Uh, Renee Hernandez, thank you so much for joining, and King, thank you for being there.
Yeah.
Renee said FaZe is the most toxic. Um,
I would say, yeah. I would say when it comes to having skill wise, yes, they are amazing players. As of recently, a lot of things that have happened within the Phase clan, I would not trust them
right,
in like, specific events. And it's sad because they're like, I can't say all of them are on that toxic level, because they're all, like, there are many of them that are amazing players,
right,
but you get things like, excuse me, like one of the players actually going ahead and trying to put in like an aimbot during, and trying to mess with the game to be able to find out the aimbot. And it's like, don't lead yourself to do something to get yourself kicked out. If that's something that you make a lot of money of, which, like, not a lot of people make money out of gaming or
right.
being a professional gamer, which a lot of people would love to.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, I don't think, like, I think somebody, if like they're working like, a regular 9 to 5, and they got the opportunity to be like, oh, you know what, you have to stay at home and play these games for hours, or stream and make money by streaming and interacting with people, I think people would take that, even though it could be a pain in the butt job at times.
yeah. For sure. I completely agree. King added in other games that can be toxic. I'd say GTA 5, 100%. I've seen people actually do a test with GTA 5 where they just went in and they were going to be completely, calm and just try to go up to players and talk to them. And I think they said they ran like 20 tests and like 19 out of 20, the person just killed them. And it's just like, eh,
Yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere. Even Pokemon. I grew up with Pokemon, and I love it'll always be my childhood, most nostalgic thing ever. If you ever comment in a Pokemon community and say one harsh thing about a new game release or anything like that, I've never been attacked more in my life than in a Pokemon community. And I know you can find that everywhere. I think it's just where you invest your time and everything, but going back to EHG community, how do you weed that out? Like, how do you control a community to the point where, you eliminate that toxicity?
Well, we try to do it to a point where, I would say, like, when it comes to our group, during the time where we were actually doing just Facebook group, and we had someone who weeded them out when it comes to like things in regards to, like, you know commenting against someone who is like, of a different gender or of a different sexual orientation or
Mhm.
stuff like that. So we came to a point where, like, if you have an opinion on something of a game, or you don't like something about what a game is set up, you are allowed to have that opinion. But
Right.
if you're blatantly like attacking someone, like how you dealt with in the Pokemon community,
Mhm.
then yeah, that's like automatically a warning. But if
Right.
it constantly continues on doing that, then yeah, we either like do something like put you on a timeout period, or we end up like kicking you out.
Right.
Um, it got to a major point where it was like, it was a major point where, like, it was getting to like too crazy. And with that, like, sometimes even a post outside of the community would cause trouble even in my admin area, and
Mhm.
I had to get rid of one person because of that. So with that, it was like something that was very, like, offensive, not just to the one person because of who they were. It was offensive to a lot of people because I even spoke to them about that. I always try to go ahead and get everyone together who were
Mhm.
the admins during the time. I'm like, hey, this is what happened. This is how they feel. This is how they're doing this. What do we do about it?
Right.
I had like a bunch of people. People were like, yeah, that's not cool in any type of manner. Give them, at first it was a warning, and then this happened, and then guess what, boom, we had to kick him out.
Right.
So that was just a major thing about it. So that's how we try to weed out the toxicity, not in just our area, but in the community area. We
Yeah.
try to see, like, how people interact with each other, how people would get, like, support each other, like, in like certain ways, and not try to make people feel like, lesser, or people feel terrible for like what they believe or how they choose to do things.
Right. No, I commend you for not just banning them immediately, because I do believe people should have, second chances, and sometimes all they want is attention.
Mhm.
And once you kind of get that out of the way, they can actually act like normal people. So I definitely commend you for that.
Mhm.
Um, what would you say is like the goal of the community? I know you said it's kind of to bring everybody together, and we all, we love video games. We're passionate about them. That's kind of the reason why places are so toxic. Because sometimes when you make a comment about a video game, people actually take it personal, like it's their property that you are insulting. But overall, what would you say? And I hope everybody, King and Renee, I hope you guys join EHG community, because it's a very good group to join, and I love sharing my videos and things there, and I see posts about video gaming news and everything. But ultimately, where would you like to see EHG gaming go in the future?
Well, the thing is with EHG, our goal at first was to try to make, a non-toxic gaming community. That
Right.
was our goal at first, until we realized sometimes, like, when it comes to certain things, we can't change people's opinions.
Hmm.
We can't change how people act in a game, or how certain areas, even sometimes, even me, I could be toxic in certain areas. So I switched it up a little bit with EHG, and I wanted to make more of a platform where if you're a content creator, then you start doing things like networking with the content creator,
Right.
because in certain areas and in certain places, content creation benefits a lot of people. Like, for instance, streamers can benefit from artists or musicians, and the fact of sometimes streamers need background music, and
Yeah.
sometimes they need artwork. And sometimes artists and musicians can benefit from streamers, from the publicity of their music, and for streamers like, sponsoring, and etc etc.
Hmm.
It was more of my thing of where we try to support people who want to make a career out of certain things now. So if you're a freelance artist, wants to make a thing, like make a career out of it, cool. Put in EHG community. It's either if I need artwork, or anybody from EHG community needs artwork,
Hmm.
then there you go. You got yourself a platform to go ahead and share your artwork with people who probably love art as much as you do, and people who want to go ahead and make a purchase of art, and where you can actually make at least somewhat pocket change, to a point where you can actually pay bills.
Right.
So that's what we want to try to do as with our community.
That that sounds great. So it sounds like you're kind of branching out more. It's still video game related, but you're also talking about all these different avenues of creative I mean, you're talking about jobs. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of leading into my next part that I wanted to talk about with you. Nicholas actually made my logo, my fish logo that I love, and I love throwing that brand out there that you created. So I'm very appreciative of that. Always thank you for that. But
I'm
what
glad you
got
like it.
you? I love it absolutely. What got you into artwork? Is this something you did growing up as a kid, and then what got you into like designing logos and things like that? Because you're very talented.
Well, first of all, as I said, I'm glad you like the logo. I'm really glad that you like showing it off. I'm glad that it was something that you enjoyed to put on your videos and everything.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I'm very happy that you enjoy it. I guess it became a thing when I started looking into like probably drawing things here and there. I wanted to go ahead and come up with like ideas of like, character designs when I was younger, when I was in New York. I was playing PS3 and I like all these type of character designs, these armor designs for different games like DC Universe Online. I was doing things like, having, designs for like weapons for like Borderlands 2 and the next Borderlands game.
Oh, that's
um
cool.
yeah, it's like I like the concept of it, and then I grew into it when I was doing more artwork in school. I
Hmm.
learned things such as shading, stipple. I learned things of how to work with graphite pencils, how to outline a lot properly, and I started making logos here and there. I started doing like graffiti artwork, where actually my cousin what is a graffiti artist, and he dabbles here and there with certain things such as artwork, which
Hmm.
his actual artwork is on my Discord if you guys want to check that out as well.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, he's there, and also he posts up amazing like food pictures. If you see his food, you would understand why everybody loves it. But with that, I got into a point where I was like, okay, so if I have this creativity, why don't I go ahead and make it to a point where it's like, oh, I'm making characters for someone, I'm sharing my artwork with other people. So I came up with new logos here and there. As you can see, EHG has a brand new logo. The logo that you're showing right now is a brand new logo compared to
I,
the other one.
yeah. I thought it
And
was. I really like that.
yeah, it was the last logo before was made by a friend of mine, which was
Okay.
actually an amazing logo. And I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and make something new. Let me see what I could provide with it. And boom, the new logo. So I was like, you know what? If I want to make these logos, let me go ahead, practice here and there on different styles of logos. I was looking into logos from, I would say like shirts, billboards, music logos, graffiti styles, even like things such as like styles of like, like I would say cosmetic clothing in video games, because
Hmm.
some of them have like logos to it. So I wanted to make my own logo. Hence I was like, okay, you know what? I'm making logos now. Let me go ahead and show it off to people. And then, I made people's like artworks here and there. I made a logo for my friend. His name is Reliquor 96 on Twitch.
Hmm.
And it's the picture of the liquor from Resident Evil
Oh,
with,
nice.
yeah, I'll definitely send you a photo of that afterwards.
Yes. That's
And
really cool.
yeah, because he was a big Resident Evil fan with the 96. And it's something that is you know something I want to start off. And with that, I started making the logos here and there, and I provide them on the merchandise that I have, and I just started loving to do it left and right.
That is really awesome. I have to ask, where did you get the idea for the new logo for EHG?
Okay, so Event Horizon Gaming is always doing something with space.
Hmm.
So I wanted to see like, Event Horizon Gaming as something that is like, when the gaming community, it's like its own planet of, people all together in one planet. But then we're willing to go ahead and like, bring people to the planet, blah blah blah. And I wanted to look for more like a space futuristic look. So I was looking into like design for like lettering, which the lettering is an inspiration of a design from the Ninjala game from on Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and which I stream, and it's very fun to play. And I was like, what colors I do for it? Which the EHG colors are mostly gray, white, black, and red. So I decided to go ahead and make the planet as a pop out item for it, or a pop out thing for the logo with our actual lettering. And with that, it became one big thing. It became like a whole big logo of its own. And I was like, you know what? I'm staying with this, and I'm just gonna put this on merchandise. So it was sort of like I would say sort of like a mistake when I was just trying to guess how to
Those are the
make it.
best. Those are the
Yeah,
best.
yeah, and then boom, right there, it made the logo. So
I like it a lot. I like there's something about clean and simple logos to me that are so much more impactful than, you know, a big jumbled mess. I think the less lettering and the less just everything going on. Like for me, you know, I told you I wanted like a fish because, you know, I'm sea fish, and then the sea incorporated in the fish to some degree. Like I love that. I love the idea of that of the logo basically telling the story of what you are. And it's so important to have the right presentation in a logo. But Vinny, welcome. Vinny, Pots and Pans, actually from New York as well, EHG.
nice. Which part of New
So
York? I was born in Brooklyn. I used to live in Long Island. So
Brooklyn,
yeah,
that's awesome. I've always
East
wanted to visit
Parkway.
New York.
It's a wonderful state. As someone who lived there for 18 years, and I know I probably look younger than that. But I'm actually 26.
Really.
Yeah, but I have like the the baby face going on. Yeah, and just like it looks like the stipple was like drawn on with marker,
You
but
got you got the Brooklyn baby face going on.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. But yeah, living there, it's a wonderful place to go, especially with the city. Of where it's gone from where I was born from and where I lived at, it's not as wonderful as it used to be, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But that's just a difference of opinion. I would say, like, if you're gonna go visit, definitely go to like the city. Definitely go ahead and go up to the Empire State Building. Go to, visit the Statue of Liberty. Especially during Christmas. Look up for the big Christmas tree.
Oh, right.
Excuse me.
Absolutely. Then he said from Brooklyn and now up north about 1 hour from Manhattan.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah, I was born in Eastern Parkway. I was born like on an actual street where it was right near a middle school. And
Okay.
yeah, with that middle school, that was where my brother used to go. And I was living there when still I was 4.
Hmm.
And my mom, who's been a police officer for almost 30 years,
Oh,
um,
wow.
yeah, who her and my father bought a house. Uh, they worked together buying the house. We moved to Long Island, and we lived in Suffolk County for a while in Bay Shore, and I stood there until I was 19. Then I moved to Winter Park, Florida, for college.
Nice. What college did you go to in Winter Park?
I went to Full Sail University.
Hmm.
I went there to be a game artist. Sadly, I did not finish due to a fact of a personal issue that I had to fix. It was something that drove me to be very depressed. I would say, if I can be very honest, I was suicidal during the times, having
Hmm.
suicidal thoughts, not eating, not getting out of the house, not even getting out of bed.
Right.
To my friend, who actually was an admin in the EHG before. He took me into a car, and he was like, dude, um that is like, he was telling me, dude, you are a wonderful guy. Like, there's a lot of things you have to move on. You have to take time to heal for yourself.
Right.
And then with that, I took the time. Took me like probably like 8 years to understand. And now I can say that I'm in a great place, and I can say that I'm in an actual happy place right now.
I'm so
So
happy to hear that, man.
yeah.
I'm so sorry you went through that, but EHG community, you know, that shows right there that that's bigger than gaming right there, man. And that connection that you have uh, through that actually helped you come through a tough time. And I think that's what communities are for. And it sounds like that's what EHG does. Vinny
Yes.
said, Eastern Parkway, that is East New York. I'm a retired NYPD detective. No way, Vinny. That
Really?
is quite, wow,
Really?
that's impressive.
really, he might end up probably knowing my mother.
That's crazy.
He might end up probably knowing my mother. She usually worked in the Brooklyn district. She did work for APD at one point in Astoria. She worked under, and he might know this person. She worked under I think she works under Inspector Barreto right now.
What
And
a name, man. That
yeah,
is a cool name.
that is a cool name. He's a wonderful guy. Is because he actually probably not. So like so right now she is a detective. She's been like almost 30 years, and
Awesome.
like she started off as a regular cop. She wanted to get the detective thing course, and then she's gonna
Hmm.
retire probably at the end of this year because she has a house out here. She literally lives like 2 blocks away from me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. So it's right there. But yes, my mom was in the Brooklyn area, the Brooklyn district, and she also lived. She also worked in the APD for a while.
Wow.
Yes. So
Such a small world. That is so cool.
yeah, it's great to actually see another New Yorker here, and I hope
Yeah.
everything's great over
Vinny,
there.
so glad you came and retired NYPD detective. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But back to the EHG community. I was talking and somebody told me the other day, as gamers and everything, we start out, at level 1. No matter what game we play, no matter what, we're all the same. And
Mm.
I love that concept and idea, to think that even ninja started out at level 1 on Fortnite.
Mm.
That kind of puts it all into perspective, that no matter what community are, we're bringing our opinions to the table. More than anything, we're looking for that interaction between everyone else, and we want to get excited about something. We want to share our passions and all that, and
Mm.
that's definitely one thing that I love about EHG. And I think it is bigger than video games, communities like this. So
Mm.
I love what you're doing with that, and keep up the great work. And I'm so glad that you had that admin to be there for you like that, because at the end of the day, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be there.
Yeah. I consider him more my brother than just like an admin because I actually went to school with him, and we've always been there for each other. Like when we needed to, like there were times where I would be there whenever he needed me. He would be there whenever he needed me or I needed him, and stuff like that. And he would always have my back. Um, and with that, like a lot, you barely get that a lot today,
Yeah.
especially when sometimes even family, your blood family doesn't do it that much for you.
Right.
So he was there when I needed someone, and then like as I said, I couldn't be any more grateful. I don't consider him best friend. I consider him my brother. Like
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. He's absolutely my brother. Like I do anything for
Right.
him. Yeah, so
Well, that's
that's
awesome.
how it is.
Then he said, came on in '98. I would love to take the elevator and chat with you. Is that
Uh,
a New
yeah,
Yorker saying or something? I'm not familiar with.
I think like an elevator chat is like a standard New Yorker thing, especially when
Okay.
you're working in like the big buildings. Like
So
especially
they're okay. I get you.
yeah,
That
elevator
makes a lot
chat.
of sense.
Even in the police precincts. I used to actually go to my mom's job. Like sometimes, like she would be like, if I do good like in school, she would take me out of school one day. And be like, okay, you could come hang out with the job. I would talk with the cops over there. Just hang out with
That's
them.
cool.
And I would go up to all different floors. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I would talk with the guys who would come in and out of the elevator. I was like, "Are you a detective?" Or like I was like a kid. Are you a police officer? And then it's like it will always start off with something of like like some talks over coffee, talks in the elevator, talks like at like at like a deli, especially in like the Brooklyn areas, or like if you're like in the Bronx. Sometimes the delis are like the biggest places that you can actually go ahead and talk to, the bodegas.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's very important, especially that's the New Yorker and New Jersey type of style, and I
that is
believe
so cool.
Philadelphia also.
Yeah, I love that. I've got to visit Brooklyn someday, because I just that culture. I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Indiana,
Mm.
so we don't have a lot of elevator chats here. But I definitely would love to check out New
Yeah,
York in general. I mean, that sounds awesome. All
yeah.
right, do you have anything else?
No, no, yeah. No, that was gonna say like if you
StreamYard elevator. There we go.
Yeah.
We're in,
StreamYard elevator.
we're in the
Oh, okay.
StreamYard elevator right now. Hey, I'm thinking about some names for this show, trying to come up with stuff, and that's kind of creative right there. But I'm thinking maybe the fishbowl. I don't know, just kind of a thought.
Actually, it doesn't sound too bad. Actually, I
The
think
fishbowl. Welcome to the fishbowl. We're just gonna hang out and chat.
we actually used to call a building in Full Sail the fishbowl because it actually looked like a fishbowl.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to and then I'll grow into the fish tank, and then we'll see where we go from there.
yeah.
Okay, so I gotta ask, what got you into streaming in the first place? What made you? And this is a typical question that I've had so far. What made you basically want to turn on the camera and make it more of not just you playing a video game, but inviting others into your space and kind of entertaining them? Like what motivated you to do that?
I like the idea that excuse me, that the streaming platform gives you the ability to, like, I would say, stream what you want to stream. Like, for instance, I like to stream video games. Some people like to stream, like, knitting or just talking with someone. And with streaming video games, it's really fun because I like to interact with people who have questions about the game, and I study a lot of things about the games that I actually play.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I started streaming, it was like, oh, I didn't have a camera, I didn't have nothing. I was like shy when speaking with people. I think it gave me more of an idea of actually interacting with people a lot better. Also, I like the idea that you could just make a revenue out of doing that.
Yeah.
Um, like, playing a video game that you love to play, people who have questions, people who love to interact with you, people who like to chat with you, have fun with you. And because that's the greatest thing about gaming. Sometimes you bring a whole group of people, and then you have questions, or you have, like, people who just love to see you play and stuff like that. And with that, it's really cool that doing that, you just said you could generate a revenue, and you could earn money out of doing that to a point where you're set. And I want to try to get to that point. So instead of, like, I could just go ahead and, like, every day I could stream a game, or be able to play with people who watch my streams and interact with them, and also probably make a living out of doing it. So that's the major reason why I got into streaming.
That's awesome. And I love that you have, you could do that and then also at the same time be able to do the artwork on the side even. And that's a job in itself. So
Yeah.
you've got more than one avenue here that you could definitely make actual money off of for sure.
Yeah, I think, like, the artwork was just like it came regular to me because,
Yeah.
like, because if you like, I can't really show you, but on right here, I'm looking at you. I'm talking through my computer screen, but on the side is a TV for when I go ahead and record for my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my games plugged in here and everything, and on the side right here is actually what I made your logo on, drawing tablet.
Right.
Yeah, and I got into it a lot more with that, and I did started doing the digital artwork on the side, as to a point where my cousin, who was an artist himself, he's like, "Hey, you know what? You have a good eye. You have some good logos. Make some money off of it."
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
that's what it was.
Well, I'm definitely going to get more artwork from you in the future. I know that for sure. That you're my go-to guy. So that's
Definitely.
definitely going to happen. But that's awesome. I actually saw a stream one time that you were using the drawing tablet, and I love that. That is such a cool tool. Like,
Yeah, I did that. I did that both on Facebook and also on Twitch. On Twitch, I think I was making a logo, and on Facebook I was making somewhat of a memorial for a person that I actually went to school with. He actually passed away.
oh,
So sadly, I didn't know him too much, but I barely even talked to him. But thought it'd be nice to make a memorial.
that's
And
awesome of you.
yeah, yeah, in his memory, because sometimes, even getting out of school, sometimes you regret not meeting or speaking to the proper people, or
Yeah.
getting to know someone anyway.
Right.
So
That's awesome, man. Bigger than gaming right there.
yeah.
Something like that. All right, I gotta ask you a question. I have to ask every person that I interview.
Mm.
What is your favorite video game of all time? You have one game to pick, because I know it's hard. If you had to pick this game for the rest of your life, is the only game that you could play, what would it be?
Wow. Damn.
It's a tough one.
That is definitely a tough one because I could give you a list of a lot of favorite ones,
Yeah,
but
me too. Got to pick one though.
I would have to go with Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
I would go with Final Fantasy X because of the fact that I love the gameplay. I love the idea of a turn-based RPG like it is.
Uh,
I like how the story goes and how most of the characters like really like can go ahead and actually connect with a player a lot more than what I've seen in other stories.
right.
You know, I love the design of it, the and overall the characters there. And I could play that left and right. I could play that, probably where excuse me, where I could just like, play on many different platforms. I had it for PS2, I have it for PS3, I have it for PS4, and
Right.
I could also possibly get the Vita version. But it's one of the games that were like out of my genre of like the RPG games or anything. It would be one of the ones that I could constantly play and not get bored of.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
I
so
think the replayability there is definitely fantastic. King, thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for subscribing to EHG community. That
thank you
means
for
a
the
lot.
subscribe. I appreciate it.
Yes, definitely. Final Fantasy X. That's a great choice. That's a really long game, isn't it?
A lot of them can be long.
Yeah.
Especially 7 is long. 7 to 10 is pretty long. 10 was definitely long. On its own, if you love the grind. I grinded my butt off in that game to a point where it probably like took me like a couple of months to hit like everything top notch.
Right.
And then with that, like I knew like I got through the story. The story initially is short, but
Hmm.
everything of the grind and doing everything on the side, yes, it was pretty darn long.
Right. That always helps too with a game because interviewed 24 and he said Super Mario the original was his favorite just because he beat it over and over and he could beat it probably in a half an hour.
Mhm.
But yeah, a game like Final Fantasy 10, I feel like you could definitely stretch out. Uh, my friend Lyle, I stream with Lyle on Twitch. He said, "Nice to meet you, EHG. Love your work."
Thank you very
Uh,
much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And Vinny said, I still have the first Sega system. That's pretty cool, Vinny.
Is it the Sega Genesis or the Sega Master System though?
Well, there you
Like,
go. Which one is it, Vinny? You got to
um,
tell us now.
yeah, because if you have the Sega Genesis, I would suggest probably looking for a Sega CD, and then try to look for a game that is called Snatcher. I think you'll probably
Snatcher.
yes, I think you'll probably like that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
I've not heard of that game before. That's pretty cool.
It's actually a game. I think it was made by Hideo Kojima, and
Hmm.
it takes place where actually one of the side stories in Metal Gear Solid 5 includes something called Snatchers.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
so if you look at along through, it's a point and click game, which point and clicks were not too crazy back during then until like now, like since we had like the Telltale series.
Right.
It was one of the games that are so rare, and I never got a chance to play it. I saw like the whole walkthrough of it.
Right.
I wanted to grab my hands on it, but apparently, a copy for it could go past like a couple $100. Like if you have it
Yeah.
like a clean copy.
Right.
Whatever was
That's
the
pretty cool.
first. So it was probably the Master System that he had.
In a bag in your basement. Who knows, Vinny? You might have some rare games down there. You never know. I'm
Yeah.
definitely big into video game collecting. Are you go after certain games?
I do. Not really something crazy old. I think like something in regards to like something a physical copy, sometimes even Japanese made.
Hmm.
There's one that I'm looking for, which actually I heard is supposed to be getting a brand new game. It's called Gungrave, and it's based off the anime Gungrave.
Okay.
And I saw a gameplay of it, and I've wanted to play it so much, but it's so rare, and you need to have
Mm,
it like shipped from like Japan to do so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, like I used to have like major collections until a point I was like, I don't play these games anymore, so I just sold them and got a large amount of money for it.
Right.
Yeah,
The
so
market is insane right now for video games. That I've been doing. So the first guy I interviewed, DeBoss, told me about a database where you can basically put in all your games and it shows what your collection is worth, and then the prices fluctuate day to day based on the prices from eBay and Amazon and whatever other retailers. But it's insane what some of the games I have. Pokemon Soul Silver, um, and I have it complete, like the Pokewalker and everything, and it's going for like $180 right now. And it's unbelievable what the market's doing with that stuff.
that's actually pretty good. I think that's actually correct for Pokemon. Like
Yeah.
yeah, especially with certain things. If you have like for instance, I believe it was for the Nintendo 64, the Pikachu game with where you have
Hey,
like
you Pikachu.
Hey You Pikachu, and then you have like everything with the microphone and I think it had its own 64 version of it. I think that is probably like a couple $100 if you can check that database.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
100%. What do you think the most rare game that you own now would be?
I think I used to own. It was Mega Man X3 for the Super Nintendo. I was so mad because my friend lost it,
Oh
and
no.
yes, and I could have had it cleaned, rebranded, everything with like wrapped in the paper, add a new box to it, and I saw it again in a mom and dad store, down my area,
Mhm.
almost $350 for that.
Oh my goodness.
I was
That
so
is that's sickening.
I was so mad. I was so
Oh.
frustrated. Even for the regular thing in Dirty, they would have given me $100, probably
Oh
120.
yeah.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, those super and some of those super games are pretty crazy. I think the more obscure they are, the more rare they are.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, getting back to so you said you were going to Full Sail.
Mhm.
Was it some type of art design or what were you going to Full Sail for?
I was doing game art, which game art consists of making like like the models for certain characters, sometimes even backgrounds, like in regards to like concept art, even things in regards to like I would say like backgrounds, like the 3D backgrounds, or like even to a point where you're sculpting even like the basic items for a web for like a level or for a character, or even like sculpting a pot for like the area to be broken in a certain place.
Wow.
um yeah, it was with a program called Maya, which is probably the most annoying program you can ever deal with. And
Really?
yeah, and I've worked with things such as Unreal Engine and Unity at one point, and it is one of the most annoying things you could deal with. It's a program that's probably a couple $1,000s worth, and with that, like it's so frustrating to a point that if something goes wrong, it can erase everything.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then everybody was so frustrated in that class, and it's like so crazy, like to a point where like we were in like class, like studying about this stuff, and then we had
Hmm.
a lab. We would sometimes not leave that lab until like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and our classes would finish like around 9, and it was so crazy.
Wow.
We were just like this the whole time. Everybody was cranky and rude to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we were just so sleep deprived, and that's how Full Sail works.
right.
Because you're jamming 4 years of college into 2, depending on
Okay.
what program you are in.
Goodness. Wow. Is
Yeah.
that is that something that you want to go back to or what do you want to do in the future?
I did want to do that, but I just realized like even certain things like this, you don't really have to go to college for. You
Mm,
can really look it up on certain things, and they have free programs to do so. And hence why Unreal and Unity were a major thing that I could do. Um, if I go back to school, I'll probably go for graphic design, like for logos and for like anything of like T-shirts or possibly like even clothing design.
right.
Um, and also my main thing right now is to make this community to a point where it becomes event coordination. So if
Oh, okay.
so I want to go ahead and like conduct like tournaments and everything. And side note, yes, the Matchbox cars and the Smurf figures, if they're in good condition, they could probably go for a couple $100. You gotta see who would like to buy those from you, Vinny. Um,
Absolutely, Benny. That is
yeah,
awesome. Hang
yeah,
on to that stuff, and yeah, definitely check that out.
yeah. But I want to try to do things in regards to like making tournaments, like either
Hmm.
online or in person. Right now, not in person because of the situation that's going on.
Sure.
Um, and to a point where we're like, it gets to a point where like, oh, now EHG is making events for these gaming areas, and like, okay, let's go ahead and speak to EHG. They have people who commentates, which I've done with a couple of people on for like tournaments like Overwatch and Smash. And it gets to a point where it's like, okay, let's go ahead and get you know a tournament set up. Let's have them commentate. Let's have them do like tournaments, make a payout for like the area or for doing the tournament and stuff like that, and provide entertainment for those things. Even to a point where we just want to make a cool event where gamers get together and just come play video games. That's it.
That is awesome, man. That sounds great. So, tournaments, any type of video game genre that you're looking at for tournaments, as far as FPS? I mean, what? Just whatever's popular, or what are you thinking?
I would say like possibly whatever's popular, like things like Overwatch was very popular during the time when we were doing it.
Yeah.
Smash was pretty good during the time.
Definitely.
Especially now, fighting games like major fighting games are coming back, like Tekken, King of Fighters, Street Fighter. Especially, I know a bunch of great Street Fighter players. Even one of my admins was absolutely amazing on Street Fighter, and
Hmm.
um, we want to try to get those tournaments together for those people who are major areas. Like, if I decide possibly, oh, we have enough money, let's go ahead and make a tournament in New York, Long Island area. Let's get a couple of people who want to go ahead and do it, who want to go ahead and join in. Boom, right there. And we make a prize for that to a point where we're possibly gonna have and buy like a figurine or something of like 3D printed work, or even add in like merch, or like add in like PSN, Xbox, or Nintendo cards like for points, and like buying stuff at the stores, even Steam cards. And we do that, and we go ahead and just like do it for those big name tournaments.
Right.
Yeah, so
That's that sounds really awesome. So, you said in Long Island, are you planning to go back to New York, or are you planning on staying in Florida?
I plan on staying in Florida. I no,
Not
New
going
York,
back to New York.
New York now. No, especially Long Island. No, no,
Yeah.
just visiting, just gonna visit. That's it.
Right.
Yeah, I'll only visit because as I said, I've um before I even dealt with like that stuff, I had a lot of issues in New York where I like I had to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like besides the college, I had to leave. I needed to start a new life. I needed to do better things.
Right.
That's just what I need to do, and I can't go back to that.
Yeah. Fresh start, and sounds like you're doing it. So, do you think you'll end up going back to college, or what do you like? Just planning on growing this community and going from there. I know things are kind of crazy right now with COVID. It's still winding down, but it's still there. I mean,
Well, at the moment, yeah, looking for a job is kind of difficult,
yes,
especially during this time. So
right.
it looks like things are getting back up. At the moment, adulting, like my adulting for me is kind of like a little bit like I'm a little bit behind.
Hmm.
Even right now, I don't even have my license. So like things like
Gotcha.
that has to like be a major thing. Possibly getting a job. If not, I will definitely go back to school. That's a major thing. And if it comes to a point where I could go to campus again, I could go and make things like in regards to campus events for EHG.
Right.
And yeah, and then right there, and then bringing it to the college, and in the process, getting my degree for things like graphic design. So.
That sounds like an awesome plan for sure.
Mm.
Um, so what do you normally like to stream on Twitch? Do you have a series going on right now, or like what is your typical? Well, first of all, what's your Twitch schedule? Second of all, what games do you primarily like to play? Like walkthroughs, just whatever hits the mood. What do you like to play?
As of recently, right now, my major thing for my Twitch stream, which I'm streaming on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
And with that, I'm doing Ninjala. Ninjala is my main game for competitiveness, or Overwatch. I have been streaming things like Outriders,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a major thing I want to start streaming. And possibly doing a little bit of Apex, or like possibly mostly Apex. And sometimes here and there I'll do a walkthrough. I'll do like a whole playthrough. As of recently, I did 2 playthroughs of Devil May Cry, the DMC reboot, and the first Devil May Cry game. I played the whole Mega Man, the first Mega Man X, and I played the whole brand new Resident Evil 2. So sometimes I'll do just like a regular whole playthrough of games, or I will play things such as like Ninjala, or
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch, or Apex, or Outriders. So
Right.
I'm mostly a variety streamer, so you'll get like random things here and there.
Well, that sounds good. You keep it interesting that way for sure. We need to play Overwatch sometime though. I did not. I don't know if I forgot, but I didn't know that you played Overwatch. We
Uh,
definitely need to play that.
on PS4, yes, I have it. I would say yes, but I wouldn't recommend it because I get a little that's where I get very competitive.
I
That's the
see a
major.
different side of Nicholas Morales. Is that what you're
Oh,
saying?
oh yes. I say things like sometimes that that are just way off the loose. Nothing crazy, like how some people get a little racial with it,
Yeah,
but
yeah. No, no. I,
but
I
nothing
didn't think
that
you would
crazy.
say that.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not that insane,
Right.
stupid. But like sometimes, like like, I'm like oh my goodness, and then I just like go Matt, and like I just like go on like tangents. I'm like, why do I play this? Like
Right.
why do I do this?
No,
Why?
I was gonna say Lyle's in the chat and he said sounds like me with Overwatch. I was gonna say I am used to that playing with Lyle. Our biggest frustration is we don't ever have a team that we're playing with, and that's such a team oriented game. If you're not on the same page, you're gonna lose. So we're always looking for people to play. I think it's cross platform, right?
It is not actually.
It's not cross platform.
No,
That's a bummer.
cross platforms that I actually play would be like Apex and Outriders. Outriders right now is cross platform with
Oh,
PC
okay.
and console. And that game is actually really good. I would recommend that. Overwatch, I'm glad it's not cross platform because seeing a lot of YouTubers, like I see like my favorite one I see right now is FTK Computer.
Hmm.
He gets the rudeness on the PS3 side or PS4 side. Somebody gets a rudeness on the Xbox side. Some people get rudeness on the PC side.
Right.
And then it's like we don't need all that to go together. I was like, no, let's not
That's
have
true.
that.
That is true. That is one thing that's been interesting playing with. I feel like you can't hardly play a game on Xbox without running into a PC player anymore. Like we were playing Halo last night. I was doing a late stream, and we got into a few matches, and it was like more PC players than Xbox players. And it's
Yeah.
like I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, because it's like there is a bit of a competitive advantage using a mouse and keyboard in a lot of these games.
Yes. Well, the thing is, like with that, now cross play is like a major thing for a lot of games. Um, I'm glad that even consoles allow you to use mouse and keyboard. Some
Yeah.
games allow you to do that.
Right.
Um, the thing is with that, it still gives like a major advantage with like some PC players. So that's why I don't deem crossplay as a major need for gaming.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a definitely a good idea, but it should be something that is optimized properly.
Hmm.
And I had a discussion with someone about that, and it should be like optimized based on FPS, but it's also, as you said, like the thing with mouse and keyboard advantage. So with that, you can't really limit a player of how they play. It's like
Right.
saying to a PC player, "Oh, you download it on Steam, you can't play it without a controller."
Right. Yeah.
You can't really do that.
Right. And it does make sense for games like that to be like their own, like controllers are in this lobby and mouse keyboard is that lobby. That I could get behind that. And then also like for me, I love cross-platform with like cooperative games. I think
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with that. But once you do get in the competitive scene, Lyle said maybe Overwatch 2 will be cross-platform. It may be, but with Halo, man, the talent level definitely jumped whenever you can tell with the PC players jumping in. But that's all I want. I don't want to feel like a complete, and I don't play a game. I don't know about you, but I don't play a game for a long period of time. I have to jump around to a lot of different ones, so I don't ever get like really good at something without getting burnt out, and then I want to play something else. So some of these players, that's their
I think,
livelihood.
yeah, I think that happens with me, especially with YouTube videos. Especially when I'm doing walkthroughs. Like I get massively burned out on some of the walkthroughs. Like
Yeah.
recently, my major focus right now on walkthroughs is Scott Pilgrim, which is an amazing game. The
Oh, okay.
first ever Persona, and Ghost of Tsushima. I got majorly burned out of Ghost of Tsushima because I'm on 53 episodes of Ghost of Tsushima.
How long are these episodes?
These my episodes are usually like from 15 to 30 minutes at most. I made them 30 minutes because I want people to like get like a full on idea of like what these gameplays are.
Right.
Sometimes they go for editing. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like editing.
Right.
Yeah, so like it gets to a major point where it's like, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead, leave it 30 minutes. Sometimes I go a little bit beyond based if like something's happening within a game that I can't skip.
Right.
So yeah, that's the most you'll probably see, like 30 minutes at most.
53 episodes, yeah. That's a lot. I could see that being kind of tough. What do you think? Because burnout is pretty common, obviously, in the YouTube community. I've definitely gone through it many times. What do you do to avoid burnout in putting up videos or just doing Twitch streams like that, like with Ghost of
Oh,
Tsushima?
uh, um, yes, with like things like that, uh, sometimes I would take like a break, like a day break, and
Hmm.
sometimes just take a day break and just like game on something else for the whole day. If not, like if I do like a major walkthrough, like with Ghost of Tsushima, I take a break from that and work on the other walkthrough for a while. So, like for instance, I was so burned out of Ghost of Tsushima that I did 9 episodes or 8 episodes of Persona, and
Hmm.
then I was like, okay, so I got a little burned out Persona, do like probably like one or two of Scott Pilgrim, and then all right, gotta go back to Ghost of Tsushima now. So that's how it was. So it was majorly important that I had to get that done because I'm actually pretty close to getting it done, hopefully.
Yeah,
So I
that's
really want to
awesome.
try to get it gone out of my hair.
Right, right. What So what would you say your goals are, short term, maybe long term goals for? And I won't keep you much longer. It's about to hit that hour mark. What would you say your short term and long term goals are for Twitch and YouTube? Is there maybe a certain number you want to hit, like a certain? I know you talked about the EHG community, but looking maybe into your own personal goals for your Twitch and YouTube. What would you say?
Um, well, I'm one I would say achievement away from getting the Twitch affiliate,
Oh
which is
wow,
yeah, which is just the three average viewers.
yeah,
Um, that's a major thing. I want to see if I can just get an affiliate where I can interact with more people. That's my goal.
right,
It's not really about the paycheck on Twitch. It's just to get to interaction with people.
right.
With YouTube, I do want to see if I could possibly make it to a point where I can make it into an income. If
Hmm.
not, just like constantly do it to constantly enjoy it, because the best thing in life, especially for me, that I've always done is play video games and do like artwork or interacting with people on that level.
Right.
So what I want to do is to try to make a living for that, but with also trying to provide more for my community. So I just want people to know, like, hey, you know what? Within, my YouTube, like, instead of just like, I would say my major goal is just to get EHG's name out there. That's just my goal. That's the primary goal. Just to be like, oh, you know what? Yo, there's a guy on YouTube named EHG Community. He does cool walkthroughs and he has a cool Discord, yo. Like he'll share like all your streams, he'll share your artwork and everything. It's cool networking. Let's go ahead and work with him.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. Like that's what I want. I want people to know about EHG to a point where they get to understand that who we are and why we do it.
So
That's
using Twitch and YouTube more of as a bridge to the overall community.
Yeah, and if we can make money off to a point where it's like, oh, I got a YouTube channel, I'm making and I'm doing it with someone else where I'm making videos with them and having fun with them, and we're all making money together, then that's another thing that I would like to do, especially on Twitch and YouTube, to provide something of a job that people want to do and learn to love to do, instead of just like having to do something sometimes they don't want to do and not love.
Right.
So that's another goal of mine for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very reasonable and realistic, and I love what you're doing. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thanks so much, Nikkolas, for coming on. It's been so much fun talking to you. We've never really got to interact, so I love that we get to just kind of chat and talk about EHG community. I really appreciate you coming on the show, and I hope to have you on again sometime soon.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with me, I'm about to start like doing podcasts about gaming topics.
Yeah,
I would love to have you on, especially
absolutely. I'd love to do it, man.
Yeah, especially interacting right now was actually really cool. It was wholesome, and as I said, thank you very much for interviewing me. I appreciate it. This is like my first, as I said, interview about my channel.
Yeah.
Like somebody interviewing me. I'm usually interviewing someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, any way that I can help out and anything that I can do, I am here for you, man. So I appreciate you so much. Everybody watching, please check out EHG community. Obviously, Nikkolas is such a great guy doing some great stuff. So please check him out. Check out his artwork. I'll post the link to his channel in the video. Also, the Discord. If Nikkolas is okay with that, I'll post that as well.
Yes. Can I do a little something real quick?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just to let you guys know, we do have EHG merch. We do have it on our Teespring. Sometimes here and there we do have a special deal going on based on special events. Sometimes for Christmas, sometimes for Thanksgiving, which we're gonna start doing a lot more. As you guys can see, if I could show you real quick.
Sure.
So I can take my iPhone out. We actually have
Oh yeah.
our own masks, which
Love
is right
it.
here. It's cotton and then it's nylon, on polyester nylon right here in the front, the red, and then cotton in the front. So it's double layered. It
Very
definitely
nice.
helps out with certain situations, especially during now, which is very important that you wear a mask during these certain situations, and especially until we get this whole situation fixed out. But there's other things like you have like sweaters, t-shirts. We have right now brand new mugs and water bottles with the brand new logo. So definitely go ahead and check that out. And as I said, thank you guys very much. And yes, you could definitely go ahead and put the link to the Discord.
Yeah.
If you want to share like things like your streams, your YouTube videos, your music, your artwork, even cooking. We like food also. And also we would love for you to share your dank memes. I love dank memes. Then yes, join our Discord. You can also see Fish in there as well.
Yes.
Especially when he goes live and does streaming on Twitch, there's notifications on that. You can get that notification just as well, and you can go ahead and start collaborating with other people who are Twitch streamers or that does any type of work similar to what you're doing. So definitely join our Discord.
Absolutely. And I will have that link down below, and definitely check out check out Nikkolas's stuff. He's such a great guy, such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Nikkolas. I appreciate you. I appreciate for making my logo,
No problem.
and I wish you the best of success moving forward. And hopefully next time we talk, you're huge, and I see you grow and succeed the way that you are talking about. So thank you so much again.
Yeah, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks, guys, again for watching and stopping by the channel. I appreciate it. And as always, we will see you next time.